And they would tell me I was going to be a dope trader. I'm like, how do you see that? Because I don't see it. They said, because you don't quit. One day I was sitting at the kitchen counter and it was like the clouds just moved. And I could see what price action was doing, the intent of the market.
Good morning, Trade Locker.
Good morning, everybody. How is everybody today? I want to say thank you first and foremost for having me here on this platform. I didn't realize I was the first. Yay, me. I want to thank God for this opportunity just to learn how to trade, because it came at a time in my life where I kind of didn't know which way to go to make money. And I was looking at my retirement. So backstory, I used to be a stay-at-home mom, and I stayed home with my kids until they were almost in middle school. And I went through a divorce, life happened, and I started college late. And I was rushing through, trying to get done with graduation so that I could get a job. Well, 17 years is really not a long time to have the pension you need to retire in the education system. And I was praying, I'm like, Lord, if I don't make any money and something happens, I'm going to be lost. I need some money. Well, this fell into my lap. Now, I was in a network marketing company before this that did not teach me a doggone thing. The videos were short and they were unclear and they weren't succinct. And I'm used to learning step 1, step 2, step 3. I'm used to teaching step 1, step 3. And so I couldn't put the puzzle pieces together. It just wasn't clicking for me. And I found somebody within that program that sat down on a Zoom call with me and explained some primary basic skills. Now, with that, I was dedicated. I was like sleeping and waking up on my computer and sleeping and waking up on my computer. And I was just determined to learn the skill set because I wanted to be independent. I didn't want my success to rely on signals or chart marked up by somebody else. I wanted to learn the skill set of trading, and I was determined to do it fast. Now, I don't count the first year and a half, maybe, because that was me fumbling and trying to find somebody to teach me. Excuse me. But when you find that person that speaks your language, that is patient, that can break down the concepts, stick with that person. And that person is still my mentor. He's actually my senior educator in my mentorship program.
Really?
So yes, we are like this. When you find the person that works with you and, like I said, can speak your language, stick with that person and you'll see yourself evolve and evolve and evolve again into a better trader. So that's pretty much my backstory as to how I got started. Now, how I started the mentorship program takes a bit of a turn. I started teaching because I was still a part of the network marketing program. And I started doing this thing called Saturday Morning Basics because I felt like I cannot be the only one that struggled. So I started Zoom calling, doing Saturday Morning Basics, and I would stay on for 2-3 hours with people. And we got word that the higher ups didn't like it because they wanted the people on the products.
Yeah.
They wanted the people to be dependent on the products. I'm like, why? You promised to teach people how to trade. Why? Well, that's network marketing for you, right? So they were kind of strong-arming and saying, don't teach, and if you're caught, blah, 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 blah. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna do my own thing. And the Trade Masters was born just out of the desire for me to teach without boundaries. That's how the Trade Masters was born.
Wow. Did you, are you in this situation now with your mentor that, when they say the student has beaten the teacher or not?
Well, he had a win last week that put mine to shame. And if you guys have gone into the chat, you see what I do on pretty much a daily basis. He had a $21,000 day.
Wow.
So I would say no.
He still has something to teach. Yeah, he still has something to teach, you would say.
Oh yeah, he's good. He's really good. He's wonderful. We teach risk management. We teach you to take the most valuable trades. Don't force a trade. Look for your setup before you get there. Know what you need to see before you get to the market so you're not making a split decision. You know what you need to see,
Okay.
and you execute accordingly.
Oh.
So I know that we talked about some key points that I wanted to bring up, and the first is education. And I'm not pushing that because I'm a teacher, but
Yeah.
but I would say this, as far as your education goes, don't take the cheap route of education. And what I mean by that is you pay for what you get most times. However, you need to make sure that you can afford what you're trying to acquire. My mentorship program is really, really cheap by comparison with what we do. But don't be afraid to spend money on yourself. You may have to pull back from going out to dinner and the movies and, buying certain items. But I would say if you've got to sacrifice necessities, just sit for a minute, save your money, because what you'll do is you'll come into the mentorship or anybody's mentorship trying to get that money back.
Yeah.
And you won't focus on the information. You'll be trading out of fear because you paid your house note, you paid your car note, you paid, your children's daycare money. So just sit tight, and there's free stuff on YouTube. However, you don't really get the full brevity step by step of what to do. And our mentorship program is a week's worth of information. So week 1, we talk about this and this, and you do this, you show your chart, you're on, it's interactive, it's on a Zoom call, so you can unmute and ask questions as needed. And then week 2 is another thing, but we always review and then learn. We review and learn, we review and learn, because I know that people don't realize that learning should be scaffolded.
Yeah.
It should be one building block on top of another, not throwing anything away. I would also admonish you to understand your learning style. Because I learn the way I learn, I teach the way I learn.
Okay.
I learn through, I learn through visuals. I learn through songs. I learn through storytelling. I learn through teaching. I learn through movement. So you'll see me, like, I talk with my hands.
Yep.
And you'll see me, like I said, scaffolding. Those are visuals that you need to make the lesson more memorable. Find a teacher that caters to your learning style. I don't do well with just lectures. I don't do well with people just talking at me. I need to interact, because information should be an exchange. There should be an energy exchange between student and teacher, and take full advantage of your mentorship. Don't be embarrassed, because quite honestly, most people on the call don't know what you just asked, and they're too afraid to ask it. When I was going through my mentorship, I treated it like it was a one-on-one, quite honestly. I would wait for people to ask questions, and I would sit back, and they wouldn't ask, so I asked.
Yeah.
And most people were like, yeah, how is that? Why is that? Where is that? And I'm going to say it, I was slow.
Yeah.
I was slow to learn, but I wasn't lazy. You can't be slow and lazy. Those two things don't work together. I took copious notes. I still have I have a 3-inch binder, notes upon notes upon notes upon notes upon notes. I will go back and rewrite my notes in my language.
Yep.
Because sometimes when people are teaching, you don't have the time to really process it in your own words. But as soon as they get done teaching, you go back and you rewrite those notes in your language to a way that you understand it. So when you go back and review it, it clicks even more.
Yep.
I would drop pictures next to my examples. And consistency pays off. It does. If you do this over and over and over, it will pay you. So concentrate on your education first. Learn how to back test whatever somebody tells you. It doesn't take the years that I learned. It won't take that person that long. Our mentorship is 12 weeks. 12 weeks. By week 5, you're expected to be in the market, marking up charts independently.
Live.
In a profitable demo in 8 weeks. That's almost unheard of. That is almost unheard of, where I sit back and say, okay, share your chart, walk me through your trade, and justify every move that you make. If you're saying something, why are you saying it? You have to justify it out loud. I don't really deal with, although my YouTube has a strategy, I don't really deal with indicator-based strategies. I tell them start with a naked chart. And then after you've made your decision, if you need an indicator to confirm it, do that. But don't start off with indicators. And I would say this as well. Once you find your educator, shut off everybody
Oh
else's
yeah.
teaching because you'll get distracted. You'll learn, okay, they did this with this and they made this. Oh, they did that with that. Oh, and they made this. And you'll be all over the place. Shut out the noise. Once you find your person, it's just like a relationship.
Yep.
Once you find your wife or your husband, shut everybody else off. You have no need to date, right?
Yep.
It's the same thing with trading and teach what you've learned. And that's one of the things that helped me. I didn't realize that God was setting me up for a mentorship. I thought I was just when I learned the information, I created PowerPoints and examples and da da da. That ended up being my content for my mentorship program.
Yep.
So
It explains. It helps a lot when you try to explain something to someone, and it helps you realize that maybe you made some moves that are not correct. You don't know why you made those moves, right? So trying to explain what you did and trying to teach someone what you did could help you learn more.
it definitely can. I teach people to go back the trades that they lose. Why did you lose them?
Yeah.
Oh man, I wasn't at my entry level, and we teach entry levels and safety levels. And if you trade within that range, you'll win. I'm going to say 80% of your trades, 80 to 90% of your trades, you'll win them. If you trade those key levels, that's how I post those profits almost on a daily basis because I'm trading in my level.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be greedy. And honestly, the market, if you think about it, the market was not meant for us.
Okay.
It was not meant for individual citizens to get in the market. So get in, get your piece of the pie, and go sit down somewhere.
You can't take the whole pie.
You cannot take the whole pie. You just get a piece of it. But the cool thing about it, you get to leverage a big piece
Yep.
and get a big piece from this market. You can easily, and I'm going to say supplement your income because I'm not a proponent of telling people to quit their 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I said I wasn't going to talk about this, but I will. In November, I suffered a stroke. And I remember my sister asking me like a year ago, if you're so profitable, why do you still work? I said, I like my job. I like the kids. I like teaching. And I like the benefits. Had I quit my job, I had to have surgery. I had to have therapies. I'm still going through therapy visits. I had to have a whole workup of, doctors and all this stuff. That would have been well over $100,000 that I would have had to pay out of pocket.
Yeah.
So there are benefits if you have the right job to keeping your job, and you use trading as a supplement, or you use the job as a supplement to trading, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, I wouldn't tell anybody to walk off their job to trade full time unless you have been trading for some years and you didn't like your job, and this
Yeah.
is just a stress-free situation for you.
You
So
can
yeah.
you can even say that you sticking to your job helps you become a better trader, better mentor, because you teach kids something, and you teach. How would you compare teaching kids something and teaching adults trading?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing because I taught middle school for some years and I taught high school for some years. And when I taught my kids how to trade in the classroom, I taught them the exact same way. The only difference was I was physically there with them.
Yep.
God has blessed me to be able to take concepts that are so out in the orbit and bring them down to earth for people. And I'm able to make trading less intimidating. I get this all the time. I'll get people in the mentorship that will say, I'm not a beginner trader. I'll say, well, how profitable are you? They won't ever give me an answer. They'll say, I hit and miss. I'm like, what does that look like? I win some, I lose some. How much do you lose? How much do you win? I don't win that much. Okay. There's something on the ground floor that you've missed. There's something in the fundamentals that you've missed. So I don't just teach you okay, I'll put it like this. When I was in the 6th grade, I had an English teacher and we had to write newspaper articles. We had to find a story and write the story.
Yep.
And she told us then, if you answer who, what, when, where, how, and why, then you've answered everything that anybody wants to know. So I take that from my 6th grade education. Who is controlling the market? Why are they controlling the market? What are they doing? When are they doing it? Where are they doing it? If you can answer those questions, you can trade. And I teach the adults the same way that I teach kids. Now, I may use a different analogy when I'm
Yeah.
explaining it to adults that they can better relate to, but I'm still using analogies and examples and movement and songs and Q&A and sharing charts. I'm still doing the same thing.
If I can just jump in, so you would say that by week 5, you, let's say, push traders out of their comfort zone to be in the market and show you their chart and explain everything. So that's pretty fast, I would say. And what I take from that is that you probably learned how to trade pretty fast, because you said it took you a year and a half to find year and a half to find the right mentor. How long did it took you to actually get out of the comfort zone and start trading?
Put it like this. I was married at the time, and I went upstairs in the bedroom and I was crying. Tears, just bucket tears. And I was like, I don't know why I can't get this. I have 2 master's degrees. I do this for a living. And I was get tears. And my husband at the time told me, don't quit. One day you're going to be a dope trader. And my mentor told me that too. I'm like, how do they see this? Like, I know there's something to making money in this market. And see, here's where it was. It wasn't even about making money at the time. It was about getting it.
Yeah.
It was about understanding it. And I could not understand it. Excuse me. I just could not see what I needed to see. And they would tell me I was going to be a dope trader. I'm like, how do you see that? Because I don't see it. They said, because you don't quit. I see you. You're asking questions. You're there. You show up. You try, blah, blah, blah. And I kid you, one day I was sitting at the kitchen counter and it was like the clouds just moved. And I could see what price action was doing, the intent of the market. And that's the thing. The market has an intention. Nothing happens organically in the market. It is a system that they follow. It is ebbs and flows, and you have to know where they're going. Now, honestly, you don't altogether know, but there's probabilities that work in your favor. So I didn't learn right away. Even after I found my mentor, because I had to unlearn.
Yeah.
I had to empty out all the misunderstood information and then be able to receive. So it took me a minute. But with that, I'm able to know where people typically struggle because I remember where I struggle. So I teach in those pockets.
Okay, that's absolutely fair enough. So you've been live trading since you finished your mentor's, I would say, program, and it's been for like 2 years now, something like that, or 3 years.
Live trading. So here's the other thing. I live traded before I knew I was supposed to live trade.
Okay.
So nobody told me the importance of staying in a demo account, pulling your demo account down to an amount that you intend to start with. Nobody told me that. I was trading with $100,000 below that account, trade with another $100,000 below that account in a demo account. But I never really understood the purpose of a demo account is to be a mirror of what you're going to trade, how you're going to trade. So when I went live, I was blowing accounts left and right because I didn't understand proper risk management. I didn't understand leverage. I didn't understand when to get out of a trade. So I lost more money than I care to say.
I mean, that's the thing that I hear from every speaker that was on here. The importance of trying to understand while you're demo trading, making it like it's real. So I would say maybe the conclusion would be after the 7th speaker here is to not trade with $100,000 because that's not real. You're not going to have that once you start live trading. It's totally different ball game.
Yeah, it is. It is. I would say start even less with less money than you intend to start with. If you intend to start with $500, start with $300 demo account.
Okay.
See what you do with $300. And I would say flip that a couple of times and start over. Start with another demo account. Flip that. Start over. Flip it. See how many times you can flip it before you go live. Because once you go live and you lose your money, you'll be trying to revenge trade.
Yeah.
You're trying to recoup all the money that you've lost, and you're going to lose more and more and more because your mental is off.
Yeah. Okay. That's something that really really does make sense, and we heard again. So guys, if you didn't understand it until now, I hope you're not going to understand it at all. Just kidding. So once you got out there, do you remember your first, so what you said right now is try to flip the demo account a couple of times, because once you start to go live, you won't have that many opportunities, of course, because you're not going to spend. Yeah. So you did it. Did you learn that prior or later, once you blew your accounts on live or something like that?
I learned that through the self-sabotage.
Yeah.
I learned that lesson myself. Yes, I did.
Okay.
But I will say that after you've learned what works, stick to it. Don't deviate. Any trading plan that works and consistently works is based on the same things. I know I go out and I look at it, things here and there, and it all boils down to market structure. No matter what the terminology you use, whether it's support or resistance, demand area, whether it's, area of interest, I don't care what you call it. And people try to make something old seem new by giving it a new word. It's the same thing. And I'm just one to like, why are we changing the words here? I mean, correction is a pullback is a flag is a retracement. Why do we have to call it all these different things? But when you're in my mentorship program, I address that, because you will hear those different things. And if you don't know what you don't know sometimes.
No.
And so I prepare them like, this is this. It's still this. See? And I tell people why it's called what it is. Why is it called a correction? It's called a correction because it's correcting an imbalance in the market. It's called a pullback because it's pulling back against the trend.
No.
I tell them the why behind things. Again, who, what, when, where, how, and why.
Same as with kids.
Yeah. And once you find what works, I had it explained to me like this. You're taking the same trade over and over and over. What does that mean? I'm looking for the same exact thing. I'm looking for the same exact level, the same exact candlestick pattern or patterns. I'm looking at, possibly the same time that I trade. You want to find, once you find your success, stick to it. That's your sweet spot.
Okay.
That's your G spot. That's your sweet spot. Stay right there. Stay right in that pocket. Don't deviate from your sweet spot, So you need to figure out, where are you most successful? You might need to keep a trading journal. Keep track of what time and day and pattern that you're finding your success in. And again, know what you need to see before you see it. Because I write on my charts. I will say, look for CSP here, candlestick pattern. Look for CSP here.
Yeah.
And so I know when it comes in my zone, if it gives me my candlestick pattern, take the trade.
And turn that into your trading plan. Once you know, yeah. We wrote 4 things that you wanted to emphasize. We went through 2 of them. Through those, I think I remember you said what kind of a trader you want to be, but I think that we covered that with this, or not. And you also mentioned.
I want to speak to that for 1 second.
Okay.
Because everybody's schedule is not the same. You may not be able to trade the same. So you may have to juggle between a scalper and a swing trader. But first and foremost, you need to know your skill level and your trading stamina. Do you even have the ability to stay in a trade? I am a scalper by heart. That's just where I live. I can swing, but I like quick money, which is why I trade US 30. I don't trade anything but US 30. I call it dirty 30. That's me. That's my lane right there. So you need to know, okay, where is your personality? Is it more laid back and relaxed, and you need to just walk away from your chart, let it do what it do? Or are you the type of person that's like, okay, give me my money now. I want my money now. That's me. So it boils down to skill and stamina and fitting it and folding it into your schedule. Okay. So that's all I'll say about that piece.
Yeah, people can be, you can change yourself. You must accommodate yourself, you would say so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there are some things that are beyond your control, so you work around it.
Okay.
And the good thing is we have a market that's open 24 hours a day.
So
So you can find your sweet spot.
you can find it definitely. Yeah, I completely agree with you. And the fourth thing that you mentioned is effective risk management. If you want to talk about that a little
So,
bit.
yes, excuse me. First and foremost, don't over leverage. What does that mean? Don't risk too much of your account. Now, I'm going to say this to that. If you have a trade that you're like, I've done all my checklists, I've done all the back work, it's in my zone, I see the candlestick pattern, ooh, I can risk more. I can risk more. But if I'm like, it kind of gave me, but not very safe. In US 30, a little bit goes a long way. It takes a little bit of movement to get you a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I'm a US 30 girl. I'm going to push US 30. That's just me. I would also say don't take too many trades at the same time. We had a guy in our mentorship program, and I was saying trade. They were all at the same time, and the lot size is too large. I'm like, you're not going to trade like that in real life. And that's one of the things about our mentorship program. It lets me see where their mistakes are.
Yep.
Because I get to look, they have to post their profits, win or loss. Win or losses, they post them. And I get to go in and I need to examine that and then go have a conversation with them about why did you do this? I see that you're closing out your trades all the time. Either you're winning or you're at zero. What are you doing? And then we have a conversation about that. But don't over leverage. And honestly, if you have a trading plan, you don't even have to overthink it.
Yeah.
Because you know what you need to see before it gets there. You've already prepared to see it.
Of course.
I would also, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Of course. I said of course.
I would also say have a goal in mind. Whether your goal is after I take 2 losses, I'm walking away, or after I lose X amount of dollars, I'm walking away, or after I've placed this number of trades, I'm walking away, after I've won this amount, after I've won this many, after the market has moved this many pips or points, I'm walking away. Learn how to have a goal and walk away. Real talk, I struggle with that. You'll see me post, and then you'll see me post updated amount.
I mean, that's you.
I struggle with that. Excuse me. I cannot stress following your trading plan enough.
Yeah.
Your win to loss ratio. We like to say, a 3-to-1 win to loss ratio, but sometimes we get 5-to-1 or 7-to-1 or whatever. But
Yeah.
I like to trade a zone, and I know what zone I want to take it to. And it's often more than a 3-to-1. I will also say learn how to adjust your stop loss.
Adjust.
I don't really do trailing stop losses. I will physically move my stop loss. If I see something above my entry and then something below my entry that I'm like, it could go either way, I would suggest once you're in profit and you have enough that you're satisfied with walking away from, move your stop loss to that point. Worst case scenario, you walk away in profit.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, it goes to your zone that you intended for it to go to. And I will go back to this. Don't be greedy. Greedy will blow an account.
Yeah.
Don't be greedy. Okay?
It's
Questions about risk?
No, not really from me. I see a lot of people commenting, so if you want, I can just drop you a couple of comments and then questions.
Okay.
One person says, nice, agreed, slow but not lazy, because they agree with you. How I learn your strategy, where I will find you. I can say that, or you can say that if you want to. How can people find you?
You can email me at TradeMastersMentorship@gmail.com, or if you want, you can DM me in the Discord. And if you want to be a part of our trading community, you ready to pay? Now,
Trade
price is
Masters Academy.
$14.
I'm going to write it so everybody can see it.
Yes. I will give you level 1 and level 2, or I'll give the Trade Locker community a discount for $12.99 for level 1 and level 2. Level 3 will be an add-on where you will get my mentorship, my mentor's mentorship, along with live trading with him. And like I said, he had a $21,000 day, and that's not. He said it was his best trading day ever, but I've seen him pull 18,000 and 10,000 in a day.
It's at the same level, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Another person, basically a comment. This is so interesting, Professor Forex. I've been trying to learn different mentor strategies, but it makes sense to pick one that works for you and stick to it.
Yes, it does. It really, really does. And I will say this, if you have the time and the opportunity to learn, don't sit on your hands. Take it.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I took, a step back and I really wasn't out there in the public teaching. And it's like people were like, "Man, are you still teaching? Are you still teaching?" And it was like, "Yeah, kind of, but I'm not really, I just started back teaching." So yeah, you better get it while the getting is good. I'm going to tell you that now.
Okay, great. Another question. Professor Forex, do you teach how to read candlesticks for knowing when to
Yes, I
exit the
do.
trade? Okay.
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I wrote an ebook. I'm waiting for the copyright to come back because I remember reading the Candlestick Bible and I was just scratching my head like, okay, all right, okay. But once I understood, you can look at the candles like a conversation. If you personify this market and not look at it as a thing, but look at it as people, buyers and sellers having a conversation, you're able to understand candlestick patterns and what that actually means. What wick rejection is actually telling you. What an engulfing is telling you, what a morning star, an evening star, a hammer, what all those things are saying. But I will say this, I don't trade every candlestick pattern. I look for a specific candlestick pattern because my mind needs to simplify things. I don't have to be here and there, look for this and look for this. I know my candlestick pattern. When I see my candlestick pattern, I'm entering the trade. And that candlestick combination, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
great. It's gravy. But I will teach you, if you come into my mentorship, I am not one to hold back information. I'm not trying to keep a student forever. I really don't want to see you after 12 weeks. And I say that because I want you to go out and fly and flourish and be able to be independent. Now, if you want to stay with me, you can stay with me. I will love on you. I will take care of you. But my goal is to teach you what I know in 12 weeks.
Okay. To help as many people as possible.
Help as many people as possible. Yes, sir.
And yeah, just a couple of people more praising you, telling you that you're such a great teacher. Maybe they are in your community. And we have one more question. What time is best to trade US 30? But that's something that maybe they can get from asking you in your community.
Well, I will say this. There are various, and I'm speaking from Central Standard,
Yeah.
but the morning session is pretty lucrative because the market is just opening and I look at it like it's just waking up. It's fresh. It's ready to move. It's ready to go. It's ready to shake. But I will say, don't trade the impulsive candle. You want to wait until it pulls back because the pullback is where I live. The pullback is everything to me. So there's different trading sessions. I may trade again at like 9:29:30. I may trade again at 11:20, 11:30. I'm not really placing any trades after 2 o'clock. I'm not placing any trade because the market usually consolidates around 2:30, 3 o'clock. It'll start consolidating and you'll be stuck in a trade and then you have to pay the swap fee and all of that. There's an evening session that you can trade US 30 with as well. So we go through those different pockets to trade US 30 in. But the morning is usually more lucrative.
You said that the market consolidates after 2, something like that, and like you said, you're a person more like, I want my money now, give me my money. So it makes
I
sense.
just took my money now. I just closed out a trade now while we're on session.
That's what
I
we
think
want to hear.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't see any more questions, nor do I see. 45 minutes just flew by.
Yes, it did.
I really enjoyed talking to you. I can see in the way you're talking that you're a teacher and that you're a great teacher at that. So guys, find Professor Forex here in our Discord or on the email I sent or on the Instagram TradeMasters. The TradeMasters is right. That's the Instagram.
_trade_masters.
Yes.
Yes.
And also on YouTube called
Please
TradeMasters
like
Academy.
and follow me on YouTube. And I will say this before I leave. Make your money go to work for you. Make your money go to work. The job of money is to attract other money. It's a multiplier.
Yeah.
So I basically send, let's just say, same 50 cents out a day. And I tell 50 Cent, go give me $1,000. And 50 Cent brings me $1,000. I'll send that same 50 cents out. Go bring me another $2,000. and it brings it back. So if you change your view of what money is meant to do, it's meant to multiply, make it work to your advantage. But you can't make it work without knowing how it works. This market that we're in levels the playing field. You don't have to interview for this job. You don't have to qualify. I mean, you don't have to build a resume for this job. You don't have to get dressed for this job. You can sit with you and your computer and make your money work. So make your money work.
So I'm going to leave everybody with make your money work and the 4 questions that everybody must ask themselves. What did you say? When?
Who, what, when, where, how, and why.
6
Six
questions.
questions.
6 questions. Guys, remember that. And yeah, thank you, Sharman. It was great to talk to you. Hopefully we get you again. I think that people really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, like I said, and I hope to get this session out on our YouTube as soon as possible for more people to see.
Yes. All right, guys. I'll see you in the market. Bye.
Bye.
If you have any questions, DM me in the chat.
Yeah. Chat, Instagram, the Discord, YouTube, like we said.
Yes. All righty.
Bye.